It's that kind of a morning today. The sun is nowhere to be seen. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you who are listening to this right now might have experienced something like this. Yesterday night was a good night. I wrote a little bit. I had interacted with my family. Everything was great. And this morning I wake up and then there is a pit in my stomach. I wanted this podcast to be as spontaneous as possible, but I'm really at a loss of words. The pit in the stomach thing, which is the existential angst that all of us feel, I think this generation of kids and young adults are not stopping long enough to experience anything like this because they're just so busy with their devices and all the things that they are doing in their digital worlds. If you are left to yourself without any external stimulation, if you are left to yourself without having to consume anything, the thoughts that you have inside of you just come bursting out. And those thoughts are, what's the point of this life? Why am I here? I was looking at the name for the memoir that Prince Harry is writing. And the name of the memoir is called Spare. And I was thinking, a person of such privilege, if he is thinking that he is a victim and he has such a negative attitude towards how his life has unfolded, those of us who come from less privileged backgrounds, how should we be feeling about our lives? All these things come because of a lack of purpose in our lives, because life is just so beautiful and brilliant only if we choose to look at it that way. Because most of us are living with the idea that our suffering is the highest form of suffering, and anybody else who is going through their own problems is just not going through enough. We hold on to grudges, we have complaints, we have this negative attitude towards life. And even I wrote about it a little while ago, that even our mom doesn't owe us anything. And whatever we make of our life is just whatever we do in spite of everything else around us. And that pit in the stomach will always be there, no matter you're a struggling artist or you're a very, very accomplished person in the eyes of the world. The pit in the stomach will always be there. I think as long as we understand that existential angst is common to everybody and anybody, and in spite of that, in spite of feeling lost, sometimes we can all anchor ourselves to a purpose in life. I think there is a good chance we will move away from negativity and into a very bright and solid future that we can create for ourselves. Nobody will help us. Nobody even cares to think of us as often as we do. So, David Foster Wallace says, you'll stop worrying about what others think of you when you realize how less often they think of you. I hope I'm paraphrasing it correctly, but that is the summary of his quote. Thank you.